the women in the Bible, what is the strongest thing outside of God in the Bible above man or anything else? What is the strongest thing? Do y'all know? A woman. Yeah. So shut up with that bullshit. When you go in the first Ezra, stop. When you go in the first Ezra, the 3rd chapter, it says the only thing stronger on the planet than a woman is the Most High. So when y'all saying that, y'all like to cherry pick 2 or 3 scriptures where it talks about. I'm thinking done in a second. Y'all like to cherry pick 2 or 3 scriptures when it talks about how bad a woman is. When a woman can be bad, a man can be bad. But the scriptures say a virtuous woman her price is above rubies. So you can't pick and choose and cherry pick what you want to do to fit your argument. We give one thing I love about that Bible, it gives the whole spectrum. It don't just talk about the goodness of either of us. Male, female. Israel is one of the most destructive forces in the Bible, and that's our records. It's a welcome to another video.
Alright, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachach Kodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that will well, and Shalom to the 144,000 elect men. Notice I say elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I'm the Baba Caleb from the GMS England London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to edify the elect. I like to always start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites, and the real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians and West Africans predominantly, but you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because we as a people have been scattered among all the nations to our various captivities. But if your seed line goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like, because Numbers 1 and the 18th verse tells you that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. And notice I say forefathers, not foremothers, because the Most High is really dealing with the men at the moment of the nation of Israel. That's who his voice is too. Now you've got this character, Captain Tazarayach, talking some shit about how the women are the strongest thing in the Bible, and the only thing stronger than a woman is the Most High. Now he's quoting from, and by the way, I took this clip from Elder Manatas Akbar's channel, GMS South Carolina 08. You can see it on the screen there under the title of this video. That's where I first saw this clip, and I thought, you know what, man, let me do a response video to this as well, because what Captain Tazarayach is referencing is a situation that occurred in the first book of Ezra in the Apocrypha, and it was basically a discussion between what was his name? Forgive me, the name escapes me. It was on the tip of my tongue. Zerubbabel. That's it, Zerubbabel. It was in a contest to find out what the strongest thing was, according to a challenge that was made by the king. I believe it was King Darius. To find out what the strongest thing was. Some people said wine. Some people said the king is the strongest, but I believe Zerubbabel said 2 things, not one. He said women and the truth. But over women is the truth. Actually, you know what? Let me just go into the account to give this some context, and then I'll get into it some more. Hang on. Let's go to the book of 1st Ezra. About 4th chapter, I think. Yeah, we'll go from about. I'm going to get into this. So we'll start from. This is 1st Ezra, the 3rd chapter, starting at verse 1. Now when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and unto the princes of Media and Persia, and to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him, from India unto Ethiopia, of 127 provinces. And when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied were gone home, then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awaked. Then 3 young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake to one another, Let every one of us speak a sentence, he that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king Darius give great gifts and great things in token of victory. See, so it's a contest. As to be clothed in purple, and to drink gold, and to drink in gold, and to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and a head tire of fine linen, and a chain about his neck. And he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius his cousin. And then everyone wrote his sentence and sealed it, and laid it under the king Darius's pillow, and said that when the king is risen, some shall give him the writings, and of whose side the king and the 3 princes of Persia shall judge that his sentence is the wisest, to him shall the victory be given, as was appointed. So Captain Tazarayach, he's not a very wise man, because if he was a wise man, he wouldn't be expounding such bullshit. So we're going to get into this account and prove where he's going off. So verse 10, the first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is strongest. The third wrote, women are strongest. But here's the caveat. Let me get this word, a caveat, if I can. It's a dictionary. Forgive me, the screen's jumping around, but I'm going to keep it on a landscape view. If it works, Lord willing. Yeah, there we go. Caveat. Warning of caution or admonition. A legal notice in a court of a public officer to suspend a certain proceeding until the notifier is given a hearing. To take care. So that's what the word caveat means. So although it says women are the strongest, there is a caveat, and the caveat is this. The third wrote, women are strongest, but above all things, so that means above women, truth beareth away the victory. So the truth is the strongest thing, right? Not women. So he was going off on that point, but let's get into it deeper. Now when the king was risen up, they took their writings and delivered them unto him, and so he read them. And sending forth, he called all the princes of Persia and Media, and the governors, and the captains, and the lieutenants, and the chief officers, and sat him down in the royal seat of judgment, and the writings were read before them. And he said, call the young men, and they shall declare their own sentences. So they were called and came in. And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first, who had spoken of the strength of wine. And he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine! It causeth all men to err that drink it. It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, and bondmen and the free men, and of poor men and of rich. And it turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor debt. And it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor. And it maketh to speak all things by talents. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords. But when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. O ye men, is not wine the strongest, that enforceth to do thus? And when he had so spoken, he held his peace. Chapter 4. Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength, that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? You see, you can see where Captain Tazarayach was going off, because he's got a very carnal-minded breakdown of this account in First Ezra's, because the second man spoke of the strength of the king, and when later on, I believe it's Zerubbabel, if I'm not mistaken, goes on to talk about the strength of women, Captain Tazarayach in his mind has therefore put women over men in his head, but that's not true at all. But we're going to get into it, because ultimately the truth is what matters, right? 2 Ezra 4 verse 1. Then the second had spoken of the strength of the king, began to say, O ye men, Do not men excel in strength that bear rule over the sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things, and hath dominion over them, and whatsoever he commandeth them they do. If he bid them make war the one against the other, they do it. If he send them out against their enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandment. If they get the victory, they bring it all to the king, as well as a spoil, as all things else. Likewise, those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which have sown, they bring it to the king, and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. And yet this is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. If he command to smite, they smite. And if he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies they obey. Furthermore, he lieth down, and he eateth and drinketh and taketh his rest. Slack, let me turn the notifications off. Verse 11. And these keep watch round about him, neither may one depart and do his own business, neither disobey they him in anything. O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest, when in such sort he is obeyed? And he held his tongue. Then the third, who had spoken of women and the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? Okay, so let's say this out. Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up and planted vineyards, from whence the wine cometh. So the women brought forth the men that planted the vineyards. So he's countering the wine argument. So next is going to go on to counter the king argument. These also make garments for men. They bring glory unto men, and without women men cannot be. Okay. Yea, and if a man have gathered together gold and silver or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favour and beauty? Yes, that's true. And letting all those things go, do they not gape, and even with an open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever? Hold on a second. So lucky, forgive me, I just had to move something. Hold on. Right, so as I was saying, where was I? Verse 20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth to his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Hold on, it's like a little things to do, so it's like a hold on. Right, here we go, back again. Forgive me for the screen jumping up and down, it's getting rotated, but let me read on. Back in 1 Ezra 4, 21, 22 actually. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you, Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the women? Yea, a man taketh sword and goeth his way to rob and to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness, and when he hath stolen and spoiled and robbed, he bringeth it all to his love. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, and have erred and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him, and Apame, the king's concubine, and the daughter of the admirable Barticus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the king's crown from the king's head, and setting it upon her own head. Yeah, that's typical shit that a woman will do. She also struck the king with her left hand. And yet for all this the king gaped and gazed upon her with an open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter that she might be reconciled to him again. True, a lot of men run out their wits for women and do that type of shit. You know, they want to act like the tough guy when they're with their boys, but as soon as they're with the woman, they do all those types of things, you know, gaze upon her with an open mouth. If she's happy, he's happy. If she's sad, he's doing everything in his power to bend over backwards to try and put a smile on her face. A lot of guys will break their back just to make a woman smile, man. So I'll read on. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? See, good points made by Zerubbabel. But this isn't the end of Zerubbabel's well, how do you say, a proposition. This isn't the end of Zerubbabel's proposition or his statement. It's just the beginning, actually, in fact. But he's just used women to demonstrate how what the other two men have said was in fact erroneous. You know, men love women more than they love wine. Men love women more than they love the king. But there's a caveat, as I said. Verse 33. Then the king and his princes looked upon one another. So he began to speak of the truth. See, because the truth is the strongest thing. Right? Not women. It says, O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all these things. So that completely destroys Captain Tazarayach's statement. He's trying to say, oh, after the Most High God, the strongest thing in the Bible is a woman. Well, no, that's not actually true. The truth is the strongest thing after the Most High. See, the truth is what should be established. And that's the whole reason. That's the whole premise of this ministry and our belief and faith in Yahushua, because Yahushua represented the truth. Let me get that. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh to the Father but by me. Really, the strongest thing, well, Yahushua really is the spirit of truth, the spirit of prophecy, but he's the strongest thing after the Most High. He's the second in command. You want to talk about some women? That's nonsense, man. That's not scriptural. See, that's what you call cherry picking the scriptures and not reading further on down. A lot of Christians like to do that. They'll take one verse from the Bible and they'll stop at the end of the verse rather than reading on down to get the true context or meaning. Bear with me, I'm just pulling the precept here. John 14 and verse 6. I'm just going to read it on my other device here rather than put it on the screen. John 14 verse 6 says, Yahushua saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So, where's the woman in that? Reminds me of the account where the woman started talking shit when Yahushua was teaching, but I'll get that in a minute. Bear with me. Let me finish this one first. Where was I at? Verse 35. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. All the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked. See, Captain Tazarayach was trying to say that, oh, you can't say women are wicked and all this kind of rubbish. What did Zerubbabel say in his same statement? Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also shall they perish. Yeah? As for the truth, it endureth, and it is always strong. It liveth and conquereth for evermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works. Neither in judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the Most High God of truth. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, Great is the truth, and mighty above all things. They didn't start shouting and say, great is women, and mighty are they above all things. No, they gave praise to the truth, because Zerubbabel had well spoken. And then the king said unto him, Ask thou wilt more than is appointed in the writing, and we will give it thee, because thou art found wisest, and thou shalt sit next to me and shall be called my cousin. So this was a very pivotal event, because what Zerubbabel asked for was permission to rebuild the temple. So this is how that permission was given. If I read on. Then said he unto the king, Remember thy vow which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem in the day which thou camest to thy kingdom, and to send away all the vessels that were taken out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart when he vowed to destroy Babylon, and to send them again thither. Thou hast also vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites had burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. So Esau and Edom has a lot to pay for what they've done. They desecrated the first temple, and they also desecrated the second temple by sacrificing swine's flesh on the altar, that kind of madness, right? So I've given the account there. So that's a straight up cut to Captain Tazarayach and what he was trying to say about women are the strongest thing after the Most High. I didn't even have to go into any other books to find scriptures to cut him. All I had to do was read the context of the scripture he was actually referencing. Now I want to give another couple precepts, because there's so many precepts that you could approach this topic with to cut it. Let me get this other one. This is Luke 11 and 27. Yahushua himself said this. Let me get it. Right, so Luke 11 and 27. And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him. Now this woman was going off and completely out of order, because the scriptures clearly told you it's a shame for a woman to even speak in church. So here was Yahushua in the middle of teaching his ministry, and this rambunctious woman caught what I'd call the unholy spirit, and decided to just start flapping her lips. And she thought what she said was going to be, given props, but it wasn't. It was a stupid statement, and she's going to get cut. Luke 11:27. It came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, Blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. So she was on that feminist type of tip, that feminist women worshipping shit, which is nothing new. I mean, all these philosophies and doctrines that we see in the world today, they're nothing new. They're old, ancient mystery Babylonian traditions that are just repackaged in the modern day, and people think it's a whole new thing. Now, obviously, it's been allowed to run more rampant in this age because this is the wickedest age that there has been. But there's nothing new under the sun. So feminism is nothing new. Women worship is nothing new. I mean, if you go look at Roman Catholicism, that's based on women worship. They venerate, what did they say? Oh, Virgin Mary, Mother of God. You know, a lot of them Catholics think that, oh, well, yeah, you could pray to so-called Jesus, but if you pray to his mother, you're going one higher. And they put Mary on a pedestal, and they worship her, and you've got all these, paintings which show Mary in this as a deified type of figure. A lot of Renaissance paintings do that, but really, that's not the truth. That's all women worship, and as I said, it goes back to old philosophies that are just repackaged in a new they call it new age way. But anyway, let me read this. And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, Blessed be the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. But he said, Yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the words of God and keep it. So Yahweh straight cut her. She was trying to big up, oh yeah, women worship, yeah. Blessed is the womb that bear thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. Yahweh cut that by saying, Yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the words of God and keep it. Now I want to build on this precept, right? Because he said, Blessed are they that hear the word of God. So who hears the word of the Most High God? Let's get this. Another precept to back up what I'm saying. Proverbs 8 and verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Proverbs 8 and verse 4 doesn't mention anything about women. I'll read it again. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Proverbs 31, get that quickly. Proverbs 31 and verse 3 says this. Let me read from verse 1. The words of King Lemuel and the prophecy that his mother taught him. So even his mother taught him this, right? What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. There you go. And she says she's cut women there, but she also cuts wine. She says, it is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink to him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of a heavy heart. So if you remember, back in First Ezra, see the scriptures come full circle. Back in First Ezra, when they were having the contest, which is Zerubbabel won, one of the people tried to say that the king is the strongest, and another tried to say the wine is strongest, and another tried to say that women are the strongest. Now, if you read Proverbs 31, it cuts all three of those things. It cuts the king, because it says, there's a way in which a king can lose his way, and it also cuts women, because a man loses his way after a woman. So in Proverbs 31, this is actually backing up what I read in First Ezra, the 4th chapter. Let me read it again. See, you've got to peep the details, man. Proverbs 31 and 1, the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine to those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. There you go. So the truth really is the strongest thing. So his mother is really admonishing him to follow the truth and to stay on point. Now, what else can I bring out on this precept? I guess, what was it, 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3? Let's see. I'm just going off the top of my head here, just flowing in the spirit. Let's see where we land. I think this is the one. There you go, perfect. Right on the money. I'm going to start from 1 Corinthians 11 at verse 1. Be ye followers of me, as I also am of Hamashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. So this is the order of the church, right? But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, okay? And the head of every woman is the man. And the head of Hamashiach is the Most High God. So again, this cuts Captain Tazarayach's whole argument when he was trying to say the strongest thing in the Bible after the Most High is a woman. No, because this gives you the clear order. I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. So Yahushua is over all men. And the head of women is the man. So men are over all women. And the head of Hamashiach is the Most High God. There you go. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered also dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even or as if she was shaven. Let's read on. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought to not cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God. There you go, that's another cut. But the woman is the glory of the man. There you go. So he's got it twisted, man. The man is really the head and the glory. And the woman, she's just a spoil to the man, really. She's a servant to the man. Even the etymology of the word woman means female servant. So who's she serving? She serves the man. She doesn't serve the Most High directly. She serves the Most High by being obedient unto her husband. Right? For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Again, that's another cut. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. That's all I want from that. There's another precept that's in my mind that I've got to see if I can pull it. I don't know if I'll be able to because I haven't gone to this scripture in a long time, but it's just on my mind. Bear with me if I try and find it. Where am I at? There we go, I found it. Esther 1. Beautiful. I'll close that on this one. Right, here we go. Let's read from Esther 1 and verse 5. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green, and blue hangings fastened with cords of fine linen, and purple and silver rings, and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, and upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black and marble. And they gave them to drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another, and the royal wine in abundance according to the state of the king. And the drinking was in accordance to the law. None did compel, for so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house, so that they should do according to every man's pleasure. And also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Muman, Bitha, Harbona, Bigtha, Abgtha, Zetha, and Carcass, the seven chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to shew the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. So she was a very beautiful woman, right? But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. So if women are the strongest thing under the Most High, the king wouldn't have been able to do this. But peep what the king does, right? Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. And next to him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, if I'm saying that correctly, forgive me, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, which sat first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law, because she have not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains? And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes. So there you go. If women were over men, how could she have done wrong not just to the king, but to all the princes as well, and to all the people that are in the province of King Ahasuerus? For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Likewise, the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. So Vashti got kicked to the curb, man. Vashti thought she was hot shit. Vashti thought that she was better than the king. She thought to show herself better than the king by refusing this commandment. Well, guess what happened? Her position was stripped from her, and another more worthy was given that role. So if women are the strongest thing on the earth after the Most High, how could this ever have happened? So again, that's another cold cut to is it Captain Tazarayach who was talking that shit? So let's read verse 20. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give their husbands honour, both great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan, for he sent letters unto all the king's provinces in every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. So that's it. That's a cut, man. There's been a lot of cuts, but this is how it works in the truth when people talk shit. Death by 1,000 cuts. Spiritual death by 1,000 cuts, I should say. But there's many more precepts I could bring out on this point, but I think I've clarified the confusion that was being sown by that disorderly statement. You know, there's no... I'm going to play it again, actually. I'll close out on it again so you could reflect on it with what I said, Lord willing, and you know, see the bullshit of these statements.
That's it. And then y'all talk about the women in the Bible. What is the strongest thing outside of God in the Bible above man or anything else? What is the strongest thing? Do y'all know? A woman. Yeah. So shut up with that bullshit. When you go in the first Ezra, stop. When you go in the first Ezra, the 3rd chapter, it says the only thing stronger on the planet than a woman is the Most High. So when y'all saying that, y'all like to cherry pick 2 or 3 scriptures where it talks about. I'm thinking done in a second. Y'all like to cherry pick 2 or 3 scriptures when it talks about how bad a woman is. When a woman can be bad, a man can be bad. But the scriptures say a virtuous woman her price is above rubies. So you can't pick and choose and cherry pick what you want to do to fit your argument. We give one thing I love about that Bible, it gives the whole spectrum. It don't just talk about the goodness of either of us. Male, female. Israel is one of the most destructive forces in the Bible, and that's our records. It's a... Welcome to another video.
So that hopefully has been edified and clarified any confusion. Once again, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth from real well, and shalom again to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I'm out for this one, and Lord willing, I'll catch you on another. Shalom for now.